must win, or Dallas need to really show Philly why we are the division reigning champs. Y'all not about to take that from us. So it's a big weekend, guys. I'm telling you. There's a lot of big things going on in the NFL this weekend. To stay on football right quick. Also, in college football, once again, it's a down weekend. I think next week we're going to have a big show and get into the Iron Bowl, and we're going to get into a couple other games that's going to be big going forward. Miami going to take on Virginia this week, so we'll worry about them probably on Monday. Wisconsin will take on Michigan. 5 versus 24. I will tell you this. Michigan has had some down play this year. I don't hold nothing back from Michigan to win this ball game. I'm giving them a fair shot, just like I would give, almost like I gave Florida State last week against Clemson. Just because now granted, Michigan is an 8-2 football team. Okay? They're not no slapovers. All right? So, I'm going to say it like this. I wouldn't be surprised if Wisconsin finds themselves in a close football game than what some people expect. Now, I think they only give them like a 7.5 point favorite. If it get close, this is when Wisconsin got to show why they believe that they can be in the top 4. So pay attention to that one this weekend at 7 o'clock, I believe, on Fox. Michigan going to take on Wisconsin. So we're going to be prepared for that one this weekend as well. Should be a good weekend, a laid-back weekend for sure in the second to last week of college football season. Once again, next week we will get into the heart of it when rivalry week take over. And see, once again, we're going to pay attention to Auburn. Make sure they handle their business against ULM. And we also going to pay attention to, like I said, Michigan and Wisconsin. And Alabama playing the school of the blind and the deaf, from my understanding. So we just going to pay attention that some of these bigger schools don't get upset this weekend. Also, LSU will take on Tennessee on the road as the Volunteers just fired their head coach. We said that earlier in the weekend, Butch Jones. Going forward, see what LSU going to do to potentially win out, have another chance to win out for the rest of the year. Coming back home next week to play their rival in A&M. We're getting all into that next week going forward. Let's get into the NBA. The Boston Celtics, after starting 0-2, has found their way to win 14 straight games. Gotta give credit when credit is due. That's hard, man. That's very, very hard to win 14 straight games, especially to do it over the Golden State Warriors. And when you go back and look on this win streak, they had to come back behind. A couple of Fridays ago, they had to come back behind in Oklahoma City to continue this win streak. So give love and give credit to the Boston Celtics and their hot streak right now. That's why I say coaching matters, man. Coaching really matters. We can talk a little bit about them in a couple of seconds, but I want to talk about the Houston Rockets and the Phoenix Suns last night. Houston put up 90 first half points. But then once again, is Phoenix that damn bad? I think it's a little bit of both. Houston looked like at one point in the game, Houston didn't play like a lick of defense. And then when they started to get to, it was confusing. I didn't know which was worse or which was better. I was just disappointed that they put that on TV last night. James Harden had 33 points in the first half. He finished with 48 last night. Since Golden State lost last night as well, Houston is now the number 1 ranked team in the Western Conference at 12-4. Golden State is officially 11-4. Phoenix got to get this together because I'm going to tell, like I told my partner last night, if Phoenix continue to stay on this road, I wouldn't be surprised if Devin Booker eventually going to say the same thing Eric Bledsoe said. I want to get out of here because I know I'm better than this. It's a mess in Phoenix. I don't know what Phoenix is going to do. But let's talk about the Warriors and the Boston Celtics. The Warriors went down, first thing first, Stephen Curry. What you doing with them dreads in your head? Take that out your head, boy. That threw me off when I saw Steph trying to have them little twists in his head. What was Steph supposed to be? Steph not built like that. Boy, I know Steph wrong for that, but I guess when you got a fine wife like that, you can do that, I guess. But let's get back to the sports. Once again, they went down last night to extend their win streak in Boston. Let's look at the standings. Let's look at who shot what. Kevin Durant led for the Warriors with 24. Draymond had 11. Klay had 13. Steph had 9. And Klay shot 27% from the field. And Steph shot 21% from the field. Not a lot of help from off your bench last night at all. Not a lot of help at all. Held the Warriors to 88 points last night. Looking at the other side, Jason Tatum had 12. Marquise Morris had 12. Al Horford had 18. Jaylen Brown led with 22 points. Rest in peace to Jaylen Brown's friend who did die. Kyrie Irving had 16. So, it's all about defense. Brad Stevens is my coach of the year going forward. If you could do something, rally up your troops this fast and this early to get a 14-game win streak, and Brad Stevens definitely showing that he can coach. Brad Stevens over the years has shown that he can outcoach Steve Kerr plenty of times because how he focuses on defense. Steve Kerr is not a great head coach. I don't care what nobody would tell me. Steve Kerr is not my potential old coach of the year. He's working with a talented roster. Some of that roster is still Mark Jackson roster. So, what Steve Kerr really had to do when he working with Olympic champions, he got 2 MVPs on the team. He got all-stars on the team. You know what I'm saying? He got defensive player on the team. You know, he got Hall of Famers on the team. I could go sit in. I could take how many of y'all remember Mr. Ira Minor? We could take Mr. Ira Minor and he could go run that team and be just as successful with Steve Kerr doing. Shout out to Mr. R, man, because I miss Mr. R. That was one of the coolest people ever to work at Market City High. He talked everything about sports, and if you did bad, he'll talk bad about you too. But we could take Mr. Ira and put Mr. Ira in that position, and Mr. Ira still have as much success because it don't take much to coach when you got that type of talent out there on the floor. I don't respect Steve Kerr as a head coach. I really don't. Just not going to happen. I'm sorry. Not going to happen. But Brad Stevens is showing what coaching can do. And that leads me to my next point, talking about the Pelicans. The Pelicans tonight going to take on the Denver Nuggets at 9:30 after losing to the Toronto Raptors on Wednesday. Now, the Pels are, once again, one of them. You don't know what type of team you get. And excuse me for not having their stats up at the moment, but I will say this. There were some times in that game when I went back and looked over the highlights. Defensive effort is not there. I don't know how, but it should be there. This basketball, I don't care where the Pelicans finish at this season. Even, let's just say they make it to the conference finals. I'm still getting rid of Alvin Gentry because if Brad Stevens can take a team that went out and got a major piece to add to their core to eventually beat the Cleveland Cavaliers and Gordon Hayward, and he's no longer there, and they put in 14 games straight to win, to be 14-2 after starting off 0-2, he has found the formula to get this team right by playing hard physical defense and really trusting in the processes of them developing the trust in Kyrie Irving and to facilitate and get the young youth like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, get them all involved. This basketball team is going to be good for years to come. Still having assets and more picks in the next couple of seasons. Ain't no telling who else they can get to come to Boston. But Boston is here. Boston is here to stay. If you don't have a basketball team, I advise you to start pulling for the Boston Celtics because the Celtics are starting to show promise going forward in the next couple of seasons. And I'm going to end today's show with this. I'm going to probably have my cousin here next week, Shaquille, who's a big Laker fan. And the other day, the Lakers did lose to the Philadelphia 76ers. And the thing is about, when you think about the NBA, let me hurry up and get out of here. The NBA two franchises that represent the NBA is Boston, LA, and everybody else kind of fall in line from there. The NBA has made so much money off of them two franchises. Now, what's the difference between them? Championships. They lead the NBA with championships. But what's the difference? How the organization has been ran. Because Boston gave up Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and others, and even their coach in Doc Rivers, to potentially have a rebuild when they were still making the playoffs consistently. But you see, that's what I like about the culture. We're not going to give them a guaranteed lifetime contract if we know that the NBA game is starting to change and starting to pass our team kind of by when we got to go out and just settle for mediocrity by making it to the second round and get eliminated. It's time for a change. That's what the Celtics did. Now, looking at what the Lakers did, the Lakers just completely went backwards. Shaq says this all the time and say that, why would I tell him this a lot. I said, Shaq, y'all should have traded Kobe Bryant when y'all had the chance and see if y'all could have got any type of assets out of Kobe Bryant. If y'all had got something out of Kobe Bryant, y'all would probably potentially still be not the lowest of the low, but at least fighting for the 8th or the 7th spot to get in the playoffs. Because the NBA is begging for the Lakers to get back in the playoffs. They want the Lakers back in the playoffs because that brings them a lot of money. His response to this was this. Why would we trade Kobe Bryant when Kobe Bryant is still selling out tickets for our basketball team? I had to play both of them because at the end of the day, when you see the Lakers franchise is dead, and number one, they are a loser. They've been at the bottom of the bottom for the last couple of seasons. You trade, it's a business. Some of the best players in the game has been moved around because of the business. LeBron James left Cleveland the first time because it's a business. You know what I'm saying? The Chicago Bulls are so dysfunctional because they can't run their business right. It's a business, okay? They didn't want to pay Michael back then. It's a business. All of this is a business at the end of the day. I understand he has brought millions and millions and millions of dollars to the city of L.A., but look at the sports franchises that are there now. The Rams are getting more love right now, to me, in my opinion. I know the Lakers are always going to still have love, but the Rams are getting more shine because the Rams are in playoff contention. The Rams are contending in the NFC. You hear what I'm saying? And the Rams just got back last season, and they already looking a little better than what the Lakers are doing. You know, it'll be a shame if the Chargers can do the same thing. It'll be a shame. I mean, the Dodgers was rolling. It'll be a shame if the Angels start to get rolling a little bit. You know, the Kings of LA with the hockey team. It's so bad that if the Lakers ever hit that bottom again to be the worst of the worst of the sports franchises in Los Angeles, California, this team just really get on TV because of their name. And we're going to get into them next week a little bit more when Shaq kind of get on the show. And we're going to give a little love to Shaq when he do get here. But other than that, I got to get out of here. I told y'all I wasn't going to hold y'all too long. How many of y'all remember that Magic Step, that Lil' Kim and that 50 Cent? Boy, that was a song back in the G. But this is officially Third Down. I'm your host, T-Wayne the Don. Look, I want to thank y'all for listening. Y'all be safe this weekend. I know I got a couple of my buddies going out to homecoming events at UL. Unfortunately, I got a job, and they stuck me in my job, so I can't be with my homeboys. So y'all boys be careful. Once again, guys, I'm still working on my YouTube channel. I'm going to get more information about that. Hopefully next week I'll get that up and running for sure. You know, subscribe to Spreaker. When y'all see that, when I send y'all links, some of y'all, subscribe to Spreaker. Make an account and then add from there if you can. But we're going to try to get a YouTube channel up for real. Spread the word. Tell them I'm talking about something if y'all interested. I love y'all. God bless y'all tonight and this weekend. Stay safe this weekend. We're going to be back Monday to wrap up over the NFL and get into a little bit of the Monday night matchup with the Seahawks and the Falcons. Also, going to talk about what happened in the college football world this weekend.